I'm Devoshmita and I warmly welcome you back to my channel. After days of keeping you all waiting, I'm here with a story to tell you all why I missed a perfect 100 in geography. Something which I have been working very hard for the last 2 years. If you have not watched my video on psychology, the link is in the description box. Please go and watch it. And if you've watched, you already know what's the first thing that I'm going to tell you. In case you don't, let me remind you. Firstly, NCERT has got to be your god and your religion and your cult for the next 1 year. You have to worship the ground your NCERT textbooks work on, because there are two textbooks. One is your fundamentals of human geography and the second is your India, people and economy. So you have to read your chapters cover to cover. You cannot leave a single line for your new competency based pattern, because you never know from where they might ask you any questions. And let me give you a fine example. When I started doing the first chapter, I felt like, the first portion of how human anatomy and geography are connected, and how there cannot be a clear dichotomy between the two, and there's always some or the other correlation with the help of the metaphorical and literary devices. I felt that it was somewhat like the storytelling that NCERT textbooks do. So I decided to ignore it. But then when I was analyzing the PYQs, I saw that in 2024, in one of the sets, the question was asked from that portion. You have to be careful about understanding every line, reading between the lines. That is what they say. Geography is a subject which you cannot just rote learn. You have to understand, first of all. You have to be well aware of everything that is given in your textbook. Okay, I'll come to that subsequently. Curiosity is very important if you're studying a subject like geography. Once you ask yourself why, what, and how after each and every topic that you are covering, you will not be leaving a single word of the textbook which you do not understand. It's the correlation between economic development and population growth. Okay, I mean that portion is already in your textbook, but you have to ask yourself, like, what is the relation? Like, let me know more about it, so that if at all any competency based question is asked, I will be able to recollect the answer from something which I have already studied. I made the mistake of not looking up the latest rationalized NCERT textbook, which led me to overlearning. I mean, learning those portions which had been omitted from the syllabus by heart. And on 24th was my board exam, and on 23rd night, it's like something struck me that I should go through the latest rationalized content. And when I did it, I saw there were so many topics which had been omitted, especially from the last few chapters and the first few chapters. Not every shop is going to provide for the latest edition, so you should take the help of the link I'll be putting in the description below and go through the rationalized latest content. A good thing is your class 12 geography is far easier than your class 11 geography. Trust me when I tell you that. But you've got to keep yourself mentally prepared, because geography is a lot of work. I have loved geography as one of my favorite subjects, but it needs you to put in a lot of work, a lot of mental effort, and physical effort as well. In your theory, you've got to learn a lot of things, and for your practical, you have to exert a lot of effort in keeping your file, most importantly, neat and tidy, and secondly, very careful. Keep yourself mentally prepared from now itself, that I will have to put in like at least thrice the effort I'm putting for the other subjects. In case of geography, half of your work is done. If you're mentally prepared about something, the task gets a lot easier. Like, speaking from personal experience, if I'm to analyze your chapters for you, starting from the fundamentals of human geography, your nature and scope, easy. World population, easy. Human development, easy. Primary activities, there's a lot that you have to remember, so we are going to rate it moderate. Secondary activities, easy. Tertiary and quaternary activities, easy. Transport and communication, tough. International trade, it's tough. So you're having 3 chapters from here which require you to put in a lot of work, that is primary activities, transport and communication, and international trade. And from your Indian book as well, I feel the Indian book is a bit complicated in comparison to the world book. So your population, it's moderate, because you have to remember a lot of trends. And human settlements, it's easy. Land resource and agriculture, of course it is tough. You've got to remember a lot of things. And I will be uploading the material, but in case of this chapter, please be aware of learn them by writing down repeatedly, so that all the percentage India's share in the world agricultural production, and the states where those crops are found, like the highest producers of the state, the lowest producers of the state, and the climatic requirements, and everything is well embedded in your memory only if you can take the pen to write them down repeatedly and learn them over and over again. Water resources, and easy chapter comparatively. You have just got to be specific with the names of the places, which is easy if you apply mnemonics. Mineral and energy resources, tough chapter, hands down. Only writing repeatedly and learning them by heart, leaving aside the exhaustion, can help you. Planning and sustainable development in Indian context, it is easy. But transport and communication, tough. International trade, from this book, you have got to put in a lot of work. You have got to. And geographical perspective on selected issues and problems, it is again an easy chapter. So what I will suggest you to do right now is, now the session has just begun, okay, and you have not yet appeared for your first unit test, and even if you're appearing, you have got like 1 or 2 chapters max in your first unit test. Now is the time when you should take up this tough chapters one by one. I'm not telling you to complete the chapter sitting in one go. No, I took my own time, own sweet time with completing the chapters. Chapters like the easy chapters can be completed. You can complete easy chapters in one day, but I'm not even advising you to take that pressure onto yourself. Do it while in your comfort zone. Now what you can do is, since you're having time and vacation is going on and it might continue as well for some more days, you can take up the like tough chapters, because if you see, the tough chapters are towards the end of the book, okay. So what happened in my case, by the time I could go on like proceed to the tough chapters, I was already exhausted. The first chapters had already consumed all of my energy, okay, and I felt too lethargic. Even if I made notes and I studied them, I felt mentally drained, and there was a point when I felt like I cannot do it anymore. But you can do it if you take up those chapters right now. I wish I had somebody to tell me to take up those tough chapters in the beginning of the session itself. Whatever you can, but take up the tough chapters right now. Even if you are able to complete just one chapter in this time span, do that. I would say do transparent communication from both the Indian and the world book, because that chapter is going to trouble you a lot. And from the Indian book, you try to do either agriculture or minerals right now. It is going to lessen your burden a lot, and you will be thankful to yourself at the end of the session that you did the tough chapters in the like beginning of the session. Whenever you sit down to study geography, what's the one thing that you should sit down with? Always sit down with your atlas. Mine is the 33rd edition, which was like printed in 2013. So please get an updated atlas to help you remember the names of the many places. You know, geography means you have to learn the names of the many places, but the names of the many places gets confusing when you are having to remember the same names in case of different crops, in case of different minerals, okay. So in case of especially your transport and communication chapter and your trade chapter, okay, if you are following your atlas, you will be easily learning the names of the hinterlands of your ports and the railway zones as well. In case of my transport and communication chapter, what I did was see Australia. Yeah, can you see the circles and the underlines? I knew it from my atlas. So when I'm answering a question from it, I'm visualizing the map in my mind, and I can easily recall that Darwin was in north, and your Adelaide was in south, and Sydney was in east, and Perth was in west. So yeah, it helps you a lot. So please follow the atlas. So many diagrams, tables, and pictures in your geography textbooks. Let us start with the pictures. Your pictures are having facts underneath them. Like if you go through your transport and communication chapter and your primary activities chapter and also your trade chapter, you will see the names of a lot of places underneath the pictures. So you have to learn them, okay. This can come in the form of MCQs, and you can also use them while you're writing some 3 marks or 5 marks answer. You can just use them in examples. Make notes. Please make notes. Please, I request you, make notes. You cannot do geography if you do not make notes. And I made notes for each and every chapter. Yeah, it's true that in the beginning of the session, I was making notes for the entire chapter. Like I did it up till secondary activities. And then in tertiary activities, I made notes on the side of the pages. In case of your transport and communication, trade, agriculture, minerals, water, please make notes. You have to make notes to remember so many details. If you have got it written down once, it gets easier for you to recall. And if you're using all those colorful things, I purchased glitter highlighters, pastel highlighters, brush pens, pens of different colored ink, and I used them to make notes so that I get tempted into studying and thus remembering them. Population chapter itself, it is having a lot of trends. So you will be able to differentiate amongst them if only you have prepared your notes. Order-based questions, I mean your tables. There are the 2 types of tables which are having lots of facts and information in them, like geography through the corridors of time, and then also your India's inland waterways. So those are having information which you have to remember. The tables which you're having, like the growth in population and like the distribution of population and population density from your world book. And you are also having India's trade chapter. You are having all those commodities and goods and services which you are having to which you can learn if you arrange them from the most to the least. I'm not telling you to remember all those volumes of trade which are given alongside. I'm asking you to remember to learn them from the most to the least, because if at all any question is asked, you will be asked to arrange them from the most to the least or from the least to the most. But they will not ask you like what was the exact amount of like exact volume of trade done in case of this commodity. No, they are not going to. Are very important in case of your 5 markers as well, and also your 3 markers, and in case of MCQs as well. So learn them, please do learn them. As I did highlight the significance of NCERT textbooks before, let me now highlight the significance of not relying on any reference books. I did not rely on any reference book. Like whatever I referred to for the questions, I'm going to put them in the description box. Please check them. I have found so many out of syllabus questions in those books, and more than that, I have found out of syllabus answers in those books. So ignore the irrelevant questions and stick to your NCERT only for the answers. Your all-in-on is not covering your entire chapter. Trust me when I say that. You have to analyze your PYQs. Okay, not because of what will come, but because of what kind of question will come. Yeah, this question was asked in 2025, so of course it's not going to be asked in 2026 examination. No, you're wrong. The 3-marker question can be asked as a 5-marker question. Okay, and your 5-marker question can be asked as a 3-marker question. So you have to learn everything. You cannot just be like, yeah, I'm going to learn only the 4 points which are easy to remember. But if they go very specific and they ask you a question like, what do you think is the requirement in case of stage 1 and stage 2 respectively for promotion of sustainable development, they can go as specific as this. So avoid being so lethargic to learn everything. Please learn everything. I learned everything. I consumed NCERT with my breakfast, with my lunch, my dinner, my snacks, my dessert, and yeah. Learn your NCERT thoroughly. This is what I keep repeating every now and then, because nothing can be more important than this. I have seen my classmates being dependent on just notes or like some question bank. Do not. And do not just think that, yeah, this is the this is the type of PYQs which I've come across. So of course this kind of question is not going to come. They never ask this kind of question. You never know what kind of question they're going to ask you. I'm going to be very honest when I tell you this. I did not write and solve any geography paper. I know it's not something I should have done, because I practiced writing, because I was into the habit of making notes over and over again and writing a thing down until I learned it. So I did not need to appear for too many tests or like solve any question paper at all. Yeah, but if you feel like it's going to help you, you should go ahead. But like if you get into the habit of note making, I don't think you will need it to that extent, and you can skip that part and just follow the way how I did. Just go through the questions. If you feel you are getting stuck somewhere, just go through that portion and leave the rest of it. Okay, but whatever you do, get your questions, get your doubts, and get all your concepts clarified from your teacher. Do not rely on ChatGPT. Not telling that those websites are wrong, but I'm telling that I personally could not. I would never rely on anybody other than my teacher and anything other than my NCERT textbooks. You've got to connect the dots. And when I say you've got to connect the dots, I mean you have to understand the meaning of every term. What is this terms of tropics? That is your low latitude, temperate, your mid latitude and polars, your high latitude. You are also going to come across the terms of tropical crops, temperate crops, okay, subtropical crops, and in your agriculture chapter. So you have to understand that these are the specific climatic conditions which are related to these terms. Like tropical means hot and humid climatic conditions. So if a crop is tropical, that means it needs that kind of climatic conditions to grow. That makes it a lot easier for you to remember the regions, I mean the states wherever that crop is grown. So some name is given in your diagram based question like your demographic transition theory, or in your map based question like your inland waterways as given. Okay, and also like your Panama Canal, Suez Canal is given, and your transcontinental railways which are given. Learn the names of all the places. Yes, learn all of them, and learn them in such an order that you are either going from west to east or you're going from east to west. Learn all the names, because they might be like putting a blank. I mean, they can. What is the guarantee that they won't? 9% of the times they will not ask you any specific figure, as I told you. But yeah, always remember the increasing order or the decreasing order, the most and the least, and your work is done. This numerical based questions from your population chapter, and also the urbanization like table which you have got. Okay, I will upload the questions which I have from the previous year chapter wise and topic wise, but please do not follow the answers. My teacher told me that this kind of question is not going to come, but guess what? I got the same kind of question in my board exam paper, and just because I had practiced them, I had understood that this is how you have got to do, and I got them verified from my teacher, is why I was able to answer them. Read so many times that you know by heart. If I'm asking you to take out like open the page at any topic, you are going to open it. Like it will will take you just hardly 10 seconds to open them without going through your index. You have to be that sanguine of your preparation that you know that this topic is on this page, and this is something which I am proud of myself because I could manage it for all of my subjects. I will put in the description all those portions in which I had not so easy time learning, and I hope they will help you as well. Feel free to use them or to like note them down or to like modify them according to your convenience. Map pointing, do not leave it for the last day. And your teacher is going to tell you that you can just go to the map at the last minute and it's done. No, do not leave it for the last day. Look at the map and visualize it. Look at it every day if you can. Like, I'm not telling you to look at all the maps every day. Look at it at least when your exam is to begin in a week. Look at it, get embedded in your memory. You will be able to point it without even having to practice it. But I will tell you, do practice maps. So, India map, you will have to mark it and write it down. But in case of your world map, the marking will already be given and you will have to like write it down. Like, they will give you some prompt and you will have to write it. They will not give you any exact location in your Indian or world map. They will give you a prompt and you have to write it down. Remember, the chronological order is very, very important. First of all, let's go with the human geography through the corridors of time. I used a kind of mnemonic to remember it, and I'll be putting it in the description box. And in case of your development in Indian agriculture as well, you can remember the chronological order, not in what happened but in when it happened. First before independence, then during partition, then after independence, then late 1950s, then mid 1960s, like during mid 1960s, then by mid 1960s, then till 1970s, 1980s, and then 1990s. Okay, you've got to remember like nine time periods and what happened. So if you have an understanding of what happened, you can easily write it down. You don't need to put in much effort to remember it. Like, this is what I followed in case of the chronological orders. Go through the sources, the source based passages or whatever is given. Do not ignore them. Go even through even whatever looks like the silly cartoons which are given in the middle of your chapters. Go through them. See some things given, like some scheme is given, something of the government or something. Just like get some basic understanding that yeah, this is the scheme, and at least learn 2 to 3 objectives of it. You never know what kind of question they are going to ask. Learned the entire chapter. I did not leave a single para which I did not learn. I learned everything because to me everything was important, and to you everything should be important as well. Nothing at this point can be more important than learning your NCERT line by line and by your heart and soul. Firstly, how you should study, and secondly, how you should write your answers. How you should study. Firstly, go through your text, and while you're going through your text, in a separate notebook or in your diary or academic planner or whatever, you write down the topics and the subtopics. So even if a chapter feels like it is very lengthy to you, once you've written it down, you'll feel that yeah, I've got to cover somewhat like 5 to 6 topics, and you'll be able to. And once you've written down those topics, topic by topic and subtopic by subtopic, you divide your chapter. Okay, like yeah, I'm going to cover the first 2 topics like today, and then tomorrow I can move to the second 2 topics. But that is important. You have to be first well aware of what are the things that I'm going to learn in this chapter. And then secondly, when you go through a thorough reading, make your notes side by side. Okay, so you were reading a para, you're making the note, you're learning it, and then you're moving to the next para. Is the chapter wise PYQs which I will be uploading, but there might be some questions which are like out of the syllabus and you don't have them in your textbook, so avoid, like just skip them. In terms of writing the answers, like what introduction, then your presentation, then your conclusion. For example, in your introduction, like they have asked you a 5-marker question on like the factors influencing population distribution. So firstly, you can write about what is population distribution, and you can just write in short that there are several physical factors, socioeconomic factors, historical factors which influence the distribution of population in a place. Your introduction is done, and then you begin with the presentation. When you're writing a presentation, whatever point that you are mentioning, like the headings and the subheadings, capitalize them, underline them, put them in a box or something. Do not overdo it, okay, but do it, and then put bullets alongside them, and then write your rest of the answer in the form of bullets, and of course give examples. What you can do in the conclusion is that write that there is uneven distribution of population all over the world due to this and this and this and that, and you can also add that theory of George B. Cressy. If I'm do everything in your NCERT and your work is done. And you have to make your own mnemonics and your own ways of remembering the chapter well. Okay, and do not rely on spoon feeding by someone. I have seen so many people relying on spoon feeding by the teachers, by the school, and yeah, but online classes. Do not. Just try to get it done by yourself as much as possible, because in like a year you are going to be pursuing your further studies and nobody is going to be there to spoon feed you. So try to do it by yourself. And yeah, as I'm going to repeat once again, understanding and curiosity are the two important things in geography. All the best for your geography. It's going to be a lot of work, but you are going to do it. You are going to nail it. I can assure you that. Okay. If anybody is having any other query, you can put it down in the comment box. And I'm once again sorry that this video came so late. I am going to bring up the political science, which I wanted to do before geography, but anyway, and English and history and Bengali as well as soon as possible. So yeah, stay tuned for the next videos. I am thankful to you if you felt like I could help you in some way or the other. With love, Devoshmita.